Okay, check on here. 1 second. All right. Okay, so Margaret went to Montreal and did some sketches. Ooh. Gail went silver salmon fishing in Cordova, Alaska. Wow, Gail, was it cold? I hope it wasn't too cold. I'm always like raining. Oh, I see. Well, raining, and then Fran said moved to Cape to a little more inland to be closer to there. Oh yeah, that's so important. My husband's family, there's 6 boys, and they all live on the Hudson River. Well, not all the boys, but like 4 out of 6 live on the Hudson River next to their parents, so everybody's super close. And then it's like a charred compound, which is great. So that's awesome. I'm glad you're able to do that. All right, so we have about 2 more minutes. I am just going to make sure, just a couple things. If you want to make sure that you can, I think I'm spotlit, hopefully that's the word for it, that on your screen, that means that I'm like the big picture. And then let's see here. Let's talk about some stuff that you might need. We have a lot of stuff going on today because it's going to be great. So I just want to let you know, make sure you have, we'll have our sketchbook, but I also want you to grab extra paper. So if you can grab some extra paper or have it close by, that'll be great. I have our printout, but I'm going to be using my iPad for this session. And then I have some inks, so if you have some inks around, grab that. Let's see here. Yeah, if you have not yet typed up what you did that's fun this summer, or I feel like it's gone so fast. You know, like one day my kids were out of school, the next day they're back in school, and now I have a high schooler, and my other one's in 7th grade, and I'm like, you were just a baby, you know? Time goes by so fast. But anyway, so let's see here. As always, if you have any questions, just ask me in the chat. And let's see, lots of camping, Cindy. Us too. Last one this coming weekend. We actually went camping last Saturday, and it was like this huge field, and there was an astronomer that showed you like all the different stars. It was so cool. And then there were like hundreds of campers with us. Camping is just so much fun. So if you ever get a chance, definitely, like Cindy, do it. Camping is great. All right. What else for materials? I'm going to be using some mark making tools. So if you have that around, I'm actually going to also try a brush that's big. This one's a number 14. That's bigger than I normally use. I'm trying to branch out and get bigger. So if you have that, let's get that out. Let's see here. Tissue. These are always great for blotting. So if you need to take a second and grab that, that'd be great. And yeah, I think that's it. In our photos, which if you didn't print it out, that's okay, because I will use my iPad. And then there's also this other photo. All right. Awesome. Okay, Jeanette said, an early summer, 2 weeks in Switzerland and a wedding in Bern. Wow, so exciting. All the different things that everybody's doing. That's great. Okay, awesome. All right, I wanted to just quickly thank Anne, Margaret, Fran, Asma, and Pam for buying me a coffee. I appreciate that. And for the rest of you that have supported me in the past, I really, really thank you for that. It really helps with just, covering some of the cost of doing these free sessions. So thank you from the bottom of my heart. And yeah, we'll get started. Today we're gonna do some abstract play. And so what I like to suggest to people when you're doing a play like this is possibly, if you can, pick your favorite music. Of course, you don't have that right now, but get your favorite music, turn it on, get your papers out, get whatever tools you want to use. And if you are used to sitting down a lot, maybe stand up. Once we start going, I'm going to stand because I like to move while I'm having fun like this because it's super fluid. So yeah, we'll get started here. I just wanted to talk to you a little bit about abstract art. What is abstract art? The definition of abstract art, according to Google, is art that does not attempt to represent an accurate depiction of a visual reality, but instead uses shapes, colors, forms, and gestural marks to achieve its effect. So we're not going to be focused on perfection. We're not going to be focused on making everything look exactly right. We're all about being loose, being free, and we're just going to have fun and we're going to play. So without further ado, we're going to get started. First of all, we're going to do some mark making. So for a mark making exercise, I like to look at Cy Twombly. I hope I'm saying his name right. Look at this. The mark making. Can you see that? The mark making in his work is just absolutely beautiful. I mean, it's like, you know, you have to really practice this a lot. I know some people are like, what? That's pretty crazy. But to me, I feel like just the energy is great. My kids are great at this. I am the worst at, like, I get stuck in my head and I'm like, I don't know if I can do this. I don't know if, you know, the marks are exactly how they should be. It doesn't even matter. It's all about having a great time. So we are going to be inspired by him. And this is on Pinterest. I'll share what I've found. I mean, look at that. This I feel like would be a great exercise if you have an easel and maybe you stand up and then let the paint strip down. That might be a nice practice for you to do. I went to a museum and some of this Cy Twombly artwork was up, and I think it was in the Met in New York City, and I was just stuck in that room for a while because I was just like, this is just so beautiful. I mean, look at that. All right, so we're going to be doing a little bit of that. We're going to be inspired by Cy Twombly, and Lindsay says, Cy Twombly, yes, absolutely. So we're going to get a mark making tool. Let's see here. What do you want to use? I might use a big brush and try not to move too much my chair. Okay, I'm going to take a big brush and I'm going to, he's using red, but I'm not going to use red. I'm going to use this like moon glow color, and I'm just going to fill my brush with moon glow. That's the name of the paint. And I am going to just loosely going to hold my brush far away, just really loose, and then just start making marks on the page. Just take over the whole thing. Hang on 1 second. My dog is still barking. 1 second. Hey, Seth? Yeah? Can you let the dog in? All right. So some more marks. Ooh, right on top of each other. Now you're going to use up a lot. Oh my goodness, the bleeds. You're going to use up a lot of pages maybe, but that's okay. This is helping you be loose and be free. Maybe try a different color. I don't know. I was gonna put another color on top of it, but I'm kind of enjoying just this one. And I'm just doing circular marks. All the way across. Just being really loose, being really free. Don't worry about the results. You don't have to show it to anybody if you don't want to. Okay, so those are just circular marks. On top of that, I also like these types of marks. I'll show you. I love the marks that are, there's something freeing about this, you know, like not really worried about how things look. Just to scale, look how big these paintings are. I mean, they're pretty huge. Ugh. I wonder what kind of brush. I'm gonna have to look at a little bit more, get some books from the library about Cy Twombly just to see how he did this. I know Matisse would do like different types of brushes and make his own. So that's interesting. All right, so let's do some other marks. Maybe some of these kinds. But I'll use a pen or a marker. Doesn't have to all be facing the same way. Let's see here. Scoot in. But there's something about having it go the same way that feels good to my brain. Just fill 2 pages with doodles. I'm gonna get a oil pastel, and I'm just gonna make marks right on top of what I painted. Now, already I'm really enjoying this, but I'm also learning something here. The way the oil pastel works on top of this watercolor, I love that effect. So even though this might be like, oh, Joy, I don't know, what are we doing? It's really to help you also figure out how to use the different tools that you have. Now some different lines. It's always fun to just mark make. If you don't know what to do, you're kind of stuck, just make marks. Now this is a Stabilo pencil, and it writes on paper, glass, plastic, and metal, it says. So I don't know if, I haven't tried it on anything else other than paper. But I usually just dip it in water. Let's see, what else? What else kind of mark making can we do? These are like, let's see. This one has numbers and some green, so maybe on the other page, Peggy says would be great for wine glasses. Oh, you're right. I don't know if you have to like, I don't know if you have to spray it so it stays. I've never tried it on any other things, but just right on top, I'm just putting other brush marks. All right, so just fill your page up for a few minutes of these fun marks. If you run out of room, you could turn it over. Do that and do marks on this side. Now, a pencil, sometimes we forget the mere pencil, but pencils are great. This one is a pencil that I like to use a lot, and I use it for different types of marks, like right here, or like, you know, just even hash marks, cross hatching. let's just get our hands warmed up. All right? You keep going. Let me see if I can zoom in a little bit. There we go. Oh, yes. Cindy says, take your boys as much as you can camping. I plan to. Thank you, Cindy. They do complain sometimes, but that's okay. They had a great time at the stargazing, so that's good. I'm trying to learn all the stars and the constellation. Is it too late for me to be an astronomer? I always ask that to my husband. I'm always like, is it too late for me to be an astronomer? Is it too late for me to be a chemist? It's really never too late for anything. This feels good for me in my brain, just the marks going back and forth. If you have inks, I always use inks as a brush in itself. So I would open it and then just, just make marks all over my page, like so. Watch things bleed. All right. I'll give you another minute and then we'll get going on the next part. So I'll talk you a little bit through how I typically do an abstract. Normally I tape these up on a board or on my desk. And then I do 2 or 3 at a time. And then I put some paints on one, move to the next, and then make some marks. But really for me, when I'm creating, I love to listen to music. It's a really big part of my creative process. So it's usually dance music, but whatever music you like, throw it on, put your headphones on, and just really try to, get moving with it. All right, I'm going to remove my pin, and I'd love to see how everybody else is doing. If you would like to hold yours up, that'd be awesome. Whoa, amazing. Can you all see that? If you go to gallery view, you'll get to see the awesome work everybody's doing. Oh my gosh, that's so great. So the great thing about this is you could go back and really look and say, hey, I love the marks here. Look at Louisa, look at you. Jessica, Caroline, Angelina. Oh my goodness, Mana. Cindy, look at that. Pamela, Gail. That's so Cy Twombly looking already. Robin, awesome. Janice, Fran, look, 2 pages, Fran. I see that. Great. That is awesome. All right. So going back to my desk. Yeah, so try some of this week. If you're having a hard time at work, or maybe the day is not how you would necessarily like how it's going, try some of these things just to get you out of your head and onto the page. It's so funny. I subscribe to this thing called Gratitude. In one of the newsletters, I'll put the link to it, but it's like a gratitude saying. So it gives you a daily quote of gratitude, and typically I will cut them out if it speaks to me and put it on my computer desk. So this is the one from the other day. It says, normal day. Let me be aware of the treasure you are. Let me learn from you, love you, savor you, bless you before you depart. Let me not pass you by in quest of some rare and perfect tomorrow. And I just want to keep that in my mind. I taped it on my computer because with the hustle and bustle of life, sometimes we forget to just enjoy the day and just be grateful to have another day. So just throwing that out there. All right, now we'll get going to today's work. Okay, so if you can see this flower, we're gonna do the flower, but we're not really gonna do the flower. It's mostly gonna be just a jumping off point. I'm gonna go to a new page on my sketchbook. And you know, if you have worked with me before, I love little boxes. So I'm going to draw a couple of little boxes here on my page. And if my pages are not dry yet, it's okay. I don't mind. I'm just gonna close it up and move on. I'm gonna draw 2 of these boxes. So I was doing, some of you in the newsletter, if you saw this Strata daily challenge where you have to paint from life, you can't paint from a photo. And that's been really good for me because I usually sometimes have reference books, reference photos, but having real life flowers has been a game changer for me. But it's getting to be winter time here in New York, so I had my son, I went to Target and these flowers were on sale. These are the Lego flowers. And so my son put them together for me, so now they won't wilt. They're great. I can take one and use one as a reference for whatever I'm doing. But I'm trying to save these flowers here. They're like really dying on me, but that's okay. That's life. All right, I'm gonna move my chair away because I like to stand when I'm working on abstract. And we're gonna look at this photo, and we're actually not gonna paint this exact photo. We're just going to think about how to abstract it. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to zoom in. This is great when you have a device. You don't necessarily have to print out the sheets, but if you want to, you can. Like this, I'm, from my iPad, I could zoom way in. Right, so I kind of like the composition of that, the green with the fall flowers and some gray. So I'm going to take inspiration from that, take my brush, and try to remember we're not trying to make it exact. So I'm really just putting an orange blob here, and then a green type of blob there, or line. Guess it's not a blob. And there's some more green here. This kind of makes you, when you zoom in, it makes you focus on different details. Can you see that okay? That green is really bright. Sometimes my camera is kind of weird, so let me see if I can make sure it looks okay. Let's see, is that too bright? Okay. And right now I'm not doing anything too major. I am just practicing some lines. And I don't mind if they dance. So now I'm gonna take an oil pastel, and maybe I like some of these lines. So I'm going to make some lines. That's already making me kind of smile. Do I like that? I don't know. It looks like orange bananas, but that's okay. Here's some of that gray. And remember those mark making that we did earlier? I'm going to do a little bit of that here. just to accentuate some of the lines. And then maybe just for fun, since there's a lot of little circles, I'm just gonna do a circle. Right, so that's a strange one, but that's okay. You wanna give it a little bit of lightness too. So if you want to let some white go, you know, leave some white. But if you like it to be super duper full of color, you can also do that. Okay, so that's my first one. I really do kind of like those banana looking things. I don't know why. They look fun to me. All right, so now I'm going to scoot back and now I'm going to zoom, just taking the same photo. Oop. Scoot this over. Taking the same photo, just zoom in. And this is just how I typically do my abstract art. I don't think about it too much. I just use it to help me make lines. So I zoomed way in, right? And now I'm going to take my inspiration from that. There's the orange, so I'm going to put the orange on the side here. If you have any questions, please let me know. And yes, Caroline, it is amazing how many things you can make with Legos. I mean, they really are. I want to replace, because I have such a bad green thumb, I was like replacing a lot of my plants with Lego plants just because it's easier for me that way. Okay, now I'm going to take, there's green stems. I'm going to take that and just make green lines all the way down. Maybe 3 of them. Some of the stems are really dark, so maybe I'll mimic that. And then there's a pop of pink on top. So I'm just gonna add that. You don't have to use watercolor. I'm just using watercolor because that's what I have in front of me. Ooh, I like the way that pink is looking with that green. And then there's glass. So maybe for the glass, I'm going to represent it like, I'm not trying to make it look like the glass. I'm just representing it. Remember, we're abstracting it by shapes, colors, and forms. We're just using this picture as a jumping off point. There's some wispy gray lines from a flower. I might take my pencil and just make some lines going all the way around. And then this whole thing is grayish with the, I guess it's more purplish. So maybe I'll do a grayish purple and just throw that in there. And because it's too blocky for me, I feel like it's needing some line work, so I'm going to add some purple lines. Whoop. Broke again. Oh, my puppy is very concerned about what's going on outside. All right, so that is my other abstract piece. And then you can kind of think about this like, how can I make this bigger? right? So these are not the colors I would typically use in my artwork, but this is really inspiring me to take notes and be like, I like the way, like I feel like these are way too bright, the greens, but I love the way these are interacting together. I like this line right here, the line work. Right there. I like these things right here. This is pastel. So just in the margin, make yourself some notes. I love the way the pink plus the green plus the orange. There's an energy about that. So I'm going to try to remember that. We'll do one more. I'm going to go like this. Well, let's see. This one's interesting. Can you see that? There we go. Is that interesting to me? I don't know. I kind of like... I like that there's dark right here and then the orange up above again, but we can try it. All right, I'm gonna turn my page around. Same page. I like to do like 4 of these just so when you're ready to paint something bigger, you have a lot of ideas. Plus the first couple never really works out exactly how I would like. So I have a lot of artwork that does not see the light of day because they're just for me to practice on. All right, this orange is pretty gigantic, so I am going to take that orange and turn it into a peach color. So really, you can use whatever color you like. If you have other colors other than bright orange, you don't have to use what I'm using. Use whatever you like. I hope you have, I'm drinking tea, trying to keep it separate from my water because, you know, I tend to dip in there all the time. Anybody else do that? Like you put your drink too close to your... Okay. Yep. All right. We have some people that do the same thing. It's the worst, like especially after you put your brush in there and it's like with dark color into your tea or drink and then you're like, do I drink this? Do I let it go? All right, let's go to the next one. I'm going to take a peach and I am just going to make a mark at the top. Now maybe we'll add a little orange. And there's actually a really dark stem. So I'm going to take my brown and I'm just going to make some lines. The gray of the glass. Really my goal for this class is, or for this session, is for you to just be inspired, not to necessarily follow the rules all the time when it comes to your artwork. You can break them sometimes and make them different than what you normally would do. Just a green again. Sometimes you could just block in the color. Sometimes that's fun too. Yeah, Louisa says, yes, me. You have done that before, Louisa? It's so easy to do too, especially if you're sitting down for a long session of artwork. I'm just grabbing a bunch of different colors that speak to me. Ooh, I love how that blue is interacting with that green, that's interacting with the gray. and it's just bleeding through. I'm gonna let it bleed through. There's no right or wrong of doing this. It's just really for fun. And then there's like a little bit of pink at the top. So I liked it from before, so I'm gonna add that up there. So it's a little bit of the color blocking with some other dancing colors, and then now I will add some mark making. And some of you, this is a great thing for you to take a look at and be like, you know what, Joy? I tried it and it's not for me. And that is great to know. I'm doing those Cy Twombly type of circular lines. And then for the side here, I think I'm gonna do an oil pastel. So I'm just mixing all the media. Okay. Oh, look at that. It's like the blue has just traveled up. So I'm just gonna follow that blue and go up. In the YouTube chat, Susanna says, it's never too late, you're right. And you're welcome, Susanna, for the inspiration. Absolutely. This is so much fun. I look forward to this all the time. When we get to just play together, experiment. Maybe you have a new art supply that you haven't tried in a while. Okay, so that is my number 3. I think we'll just do 3 because it's 6:34 already. So what we'll do is we'll put this, your inspiration. Well, let me see how you did first. Let me remove myself from the pin. And let's see how you did. Hold yours up if you can. If it's wet and drippy, that's okay. I get it. Ooh, Margaret, those are great earthy colors. Fran, look at that. Cindy, energetic lines. Beverly, you went through and did 4. Awesome. Look at Jen Skinner's. Oh my goodness, Jen, the circular. Mary Lee, that's great. Leslie, oh, you should cut that up and put it in your fridge right now. That's so great, Leslie. Cheryl, Pam, did you hold yours up and I missed it? I'm sorry if I did. Let's see here. Meredith, Robin. Ooh, Robin, those are some Cy Twombly lines you're doing. Virginia? Virginia, cut that out and put it on your fridge. Put it on your fridge, Cindy. Oh, that's the thing. Those of you that are on YouTube, I wish you could see these because they are just amazing. Katya, Cheryl. I do love seeing everyone's take. Jessica, Pam. You know what's amazing about this? Sujata, did I say that right? I hope I said your name right. Anna, lovely. The great thing about this is everybody's so different. But yeah, Francis, Jessica, I saw yours. And oh my goodness. Everybody's is so different, but yet it's so amazing. You know what I mean? Because it's your hand doing it, you know? It's just like your handwriting, which is just, it's magic. It's magic. All right. Yes, this is so fun, Robin. I agree. Okay, so we're going to take another piece of paper, and we're going to take what you just did, if you have another piece of paper with you. If you don't, that's okay. You can use the bottom portion. But this time around, for me, I'm going to take a bigger piece of paper and I'm going to play with the bigger piece of paper, and then I'm going to put our picture away. All right? So the reference photo is going to go away, and we're going to use what we just did to make a painting. Okay. Put this over here. And just taking some paper. All right. And this is a mixed media paper, I think. And I'm going to look at the paintings that I did. And what did I like about it? Well, let's just take a second and look. I actually like this one turned upside down. So I like the way it has the marks at the top. I like the orange down here. I even like this mark up there. So take a second and look at what you just did, and kind of just think about what you want to use onto your page, onto your painting. And if you're sitting down and you want to stand up, this is a great time to do so. Or you can stay seated. I'm just gonna do a quick cough, so I don't want to cough on the thing. So 1 second. I have something in my throat. Okay, I'm back. All right, so I'm going to take my number 14 brush, and I'm going to look at my page, which, let's see if you can see it. There we go. Trying to do too many things at once here. All right, is your water dirty? My water is getting dirty, but I always have like a second jug next to me, so I don't have to leave. All right, so now what I'm gonna do is I really like this orange. I'm gonna put it down here, just very loose. And if my brush is doing a dry brush look, that's okay. Oh, I already love how it's like messing around, just doing its own thing. You might want to, I'm putting some dots in there just because it's so fun to see what the paint does. Do you see how it's just like dabbing and just throw it in there. All right. I like the paint actually, so I'm kind of focusing on this one for some reason. I really like how it's looking. But I feel like it's too perfect. So if your lines are getting to be too perfect, you can just mess it up a little. All right. What else? I did like... Well, let me put all of my colors down first, so then I can see how to play. Now, as you can see, this is a Holbein set of 60 that I've had forever, and I just go through and I don't mind if they're all mixed together. If you don't like that, that's okay. You can try to use a palette. All right. I like the purple from this, so I think I'm going to add that. And I don't have a straight up purple. I usually mix my purple with my gray. Okay. Just getting some colors down. Don't worry about exactly following what you have, because I'm just jumping around. I'm picking one thing that I like from one, moving it to another. The cool thing about this is, since it's coming from your hand and it's coming from your own reference, it's just really you, which is so great. And that's what makes everybody so different. Now, don't be afraid of the leaving white spots. I might leave it. I don't know. I'm still thinking. I did like those squiggly lines at the top with the brown, so I'm going to add that there. I'm trying to see how I can get it to dance again. There we go. Dance, paint, dance. Sandra, this is lovely and inspiring. Oh, I'm so glad that you're enjoying it, Sandra. It's been so great to just play. Now I'm going to take my oil pastel. And do you remember how I like that banana looking mark at the top? So I'm just going to kind of copy the same thing and make giant marks. And maybe I don't love it so jaggedy, so I'm just gonna go through, and I've changed my mind as I'm going along. Turned it into dots. Or dashes, I guess. Alright, then I'm gonna take my... This is a Derwent Inktense watercolor pencil, and I'm just gonna make marks up here like I did up on this corner. The only thing is, since I'm transferring it to a larger page, it's not as the marks are not as big as I would like, so I'll just double it up. Okay, next, I like just the pencil markings on the side, so I'm just going to add that. And then, let's see, like the green, so maybe I'll do green markings. Where? Maybe here? And the resist of the different types of mediums on top of each other is really fun. So don't be afraid to experiment with that. The cool thing about this too is if you are not in love with what you're doing right now, you can just come back and do it later. Try something different. Just putting some lines over here because I had lines earlier. But now they're kind of competing, so I don't know if I like that. But I will leave it for now. I like how this is like merging together. Because I'm not sure if I like what I just did, I'm just going to go through it with a darker color. And since it's bleeding too much, I'm going to take my tissue and dab. This is looking empty on the side here, so I'm going to take a purple and just do some weird marks. Just like channel your inner child, the inner playfulness. There's something about that There's a reason why when kids create, they don't mind. They just go for it, which is what I love. I always like to keep some of my kids' artwork in the studio to remind myself, just have fun. Because sometimes I get stuck in my head, and I don't want to. I worry, and I'm like, oh no, this doesn't look right. But we can't live in worry, so we have to just let go. Let's see. So this is the one that I did a while ago. I'm just trying to see if there's something here that I like. I like the curviness of some of the things. So I'll try to add some curves. I encourage you, if you have an easel, try to do this standing up on an easel and just let the paint drip drop everywhere. I use chunky paint markers when I want to get really loose and abstract. Oh, that is great, Jessica. I do have chunky markers. They're down here by my feet. That's a great reminder. Thank you. Ooh, and I have some inks. So maybe I'll use some of that. Mine is turning out to be kind of nuts and crazy everywhere, but I don't mind. I don't mind when things are not perfect. I'm loving wet charcoal. Ooh, Virginia, yes, wet charcoal is great. I'm just tracing over what I did earlier. Splattering paint everywhere. Yeah, in the chat, what are you finding about yourself? What is something that you're like, wow, this is kind of cool. I didn't realize putting these two things together. For me, I am like loving just rediscovering mark making. Sometimes I get way too focused on trying to make things perfect, especially like with flowers, that it's fun to just jump and do something else, something different. Is there a tool that you're loving right now? Like the chunky markers from Jessica, the wet charcoal from Virginia? What do you have that you are thinking, this is really working out great? I'm gonna stop on mine for a little bit because I know I'm gonna start overworking mine. Does anybody ever have that happen to you where you're just like, yikes? And a rainbow pencil. Ooh. Ooh, I might have to get that. I feel like mine needs a little bit of like, let's see here. Adele says watercolor pencil. Loving using them. Great. Bleeding is fabulous, Susan said. Wet. Yeah, the bleeding is just great. It's so fun to just let the things merge. And then, you're really not in control of where they're going. And if you're not loving how yours is looking, like mine is, I don't know. I feel like I'm putting too much in there. I'm overworking it a little. But that's okay, because then maybe later I'll come back and add more stuff to it. You know what it is? I like the green, dark green marks, and I don't have that on here. So I'm going to add that. Susan says I definitely need to stop. I know. I need to stop too, but I'm just like, oh, what else? What else can I add? How else can I make this complicated? I'm going to stop. So I'm going to stop on mine right there, but you keep going. I wanted to actually, this is so fun. I encourage you to do more. I'm going to show you what's for homework while you're working. Okay, for homework, if you choose to accept it, this one is a photo that I absolutely love because it already has like that sweeping. Yeah, Carolyn said it's impossible to stop. It's so fun. I know. It is impossible. I love this photo because it has a lot of sweeping, bleeding. It's a landscape. Marks that you could do, and you can even like, well, maybe I'll do one. All right, so let's do one together, and then you try to do 3, and then make a bigger one. That's your homework for this month. Okay, so how would I do this? I would probably start with a pencil just to try it out. China marker lines first and watercolor on top creates a surprise. Ooh, Janice. I have China markers, I think. Maybe I'll try that. Okay, so your next photo. I'll also have this on the Painting with Joy, Let's Paint with Joy website, and they'll have the PDF and the recording. But yeah, so what I would like for you to do, I'm just going to use a marker. Oh, not a marker. What am I saying? I'm going to use a watercolor pencil. It's 6:53. I'm going to get going here, but I mean, like, I'm going to continue. But if you have to leave, don't feel like you have to stay because it's being recorded. If you have to go, I totally get it. But I might go over, just letting you know. All right. So what I would do is, like, for example, there's sweeping lines here. So maybe I'll just do a sweeping line here. And then another mark here. So just being loose with my fingers and my hands as I'm going along. And then I'll add my color. Fran says I enjoy making drips. Yeah, drips are fun. I'm trying to do more drips in my life right now. Just making things drip everywhere. So already I'm like, ooh. See, after 4 paintings, now I'm feeling more comfortable with my hands. And you don't have to follow exactly what they have here, but this is just a inspiration for you. See, I already switched it. Different color already. So these reference photos are just jumping off points for you to just try. Okay, I'm just doing one so you can kind of see what I'm thinking of. Ooh. Have you ever just put something down on your page and then you're like, whoa, I love that. And then I would go through, and like we did before, make marks that are loose right in here. Just channel your inner child or your inner Cy Twombly when you're working on these. And don't be too concerned about making them look perfect. So maybe just do 3 of these and then make a bigger painting. All right? So that is one of the marks. I don't know. I just feel like I got to add a little bit more. This is also a great way to try supplies that you haven't used in a while. You know, Candy says this was fun. Thank you. Oh, Candy, thank you for joining us. I'm having a great time. All right, so that's for homework. Let's see here. I'm going to remove my pin. Does everybody understand? You're gonna, if you want to, you don't have to do the homework, but if you want to, the second picture, try to do the same thing that we did, like make 3 abstracts and then try to create one big one, right? So I'm going to remove my pin, and I'd love to see what you made. What did you make? If you go to gallery view, you'll see, whoa. Oh, wow. Janice, look at that. 2 different colors. Leslie, the energy. Cindy, woo. Fran, I love that mana. Oh, that reminds me of a tree in the middle there. You were in the forest today, so you're getting inspired by trees. Virginia, I love those dark marks. Pamela, oh, wow. Look at those green lines. Beth, you need to put that in your fridge. Like there's something about those lines that are just dancing. Jen, oh my goodness. Oh, amazing, amazing. Robin, you are definitely reminding me of Cy Twombly right now. Carla, look at that. So I hope this really helps you with your way of just like seeing things. Let me see, Louisa. There's other pages, so if you go to the other page, you'll see other people's. Adele, Jessica. Oh my gosh. Gosh, I can't talk. Caroline. Beautiful. Oh, hang on. We have a little friend. I missed him. Lisa Edwards. Wow, that is so pretty. Put that in your fridge. It looks amazing. Anna. Oh, wow. Great, great, great. Please tag me if you share on Instagram or if you're sharing on our Facebook page, because I love highlighting it and spotlighting it for other people. And yeah, so take some time. Remember to let go. Remember to just have fun. Try to do 3 like we did. And don't be too worried about how it works out. You just have to make notes on the side. I'm trying to see what else. I'm trying to remind you of things before we leave here. And this will always be, you know, if you need to go back and watch the recording. But I really encourage you, if you could, listen to music while you're doing this. What is your favorite type of music? Before we go, can you put it on the chat? Mine is dance music. I love to listen to dance music that has like a lot of beats. Oh, Robin says you too. You too. Nice. I absolutely love this session. Thank you so much, Joy. Oh, great. I'm so glad, Caroline. Dancing blues. Cindy, there's dancing blues? I did not know that. I'm going to have to look that up. Disco, funk, Fran, contemporary folk, Smashing Pumpkins. Yes. Big band for Adele. Margaret, you got to type yours in there. Old Simon and Garfunkel. Lord of the Rings. Oh, Virginia. Lord of the Rings soundtrack. Beach music. Punk. Christian Motown. Yuzha Wang on piano. See, this is so great because now I'm like learning more pop and dance. Thank you for a session, Joy. Yay, Pam. So glad. Go-go music. I'm so embarrassed to tell you sometimes like what kind of music. Japanese great band. Okay, so if you could look at the chat, I'll leave it up for a little bit. Just try to write some stuff down. Pam, pop and dance. I do love I like hip hop. So like sometimes I'm listening to like rap, but then I cannot let my kids listen to it. You know what I mean? So they have to go in another room. Like, this is not for you. All right, well, we better go. It is 7 o'clock. Thank you so much. Caroline, I'm going to look for syrup. Matt, thank you so much, everybody. I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your week. It's so hard for me to hang up, so you guys are going to have to leave because you know how I do. I can't go. Let me know if you have any questions. Tag me on everything. And as always, thank you. Bye. Take care. Have fun.